States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is Greg Sims here today?
Okay, welcome everybody.
Greg.
Minutes, read the minutes, please.
Oh, reading.
First reading.
First reading. Taxpayers of Porter County, Indiana, that the officers of Porter County will meet at the Porter County Government Administration Building to consider the following appropriations to the budgets for 2024. In the general fund, salaries in the amount of $64,500, consultants in the amount of $85,000, contractual services $100,000, accident report fund, other equipment $5,000, cumulative bridge hourly $12,000, opioid unrestricted contractual services $10,000, sheriff donations fund, uniforms and clothing $2,000, E911 donation fund, other supplies $58.81, inmate processing, other supplies $5,000, JDC codes, salaries $5,840, mental health grant, meals and lodging $500, uniforms and clothing $1,500, other supplies $3,000, training $2,500, printing and other supplies $1,000, ARPA contractual $139,980, HOVA grant fund reimbursements $27,000. First reading.
Need a motion for the approval of the first reading, or
I'd like to make a motion
I don't think we need one.
No, we don't need a motion. We just need a motion for the minutes.
for the minutes.
I make a motion for the approval of the minutes of July 18th.
motion and second for approval of July 18th.
What was I doing?
And March 22nd? Or
Oh,
26th?
I'm sorry, and March 26th.
Right, and March 26th, all of together.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion passed. First reading, approval.
We don't need approval on that.
We have a special presentation tonight from Porter County Redevelopment Commission, Mary Thomas. Mary? Good to see you again.
As a cane?
Good evening, members of the council. I am Mary Jane Thomas. I am president of MJ Thomas and Associates. We have been retained to be the project manager for the Porter County Redevelopment Commission for 2024. One of the obligations by statute is the Redevelopment Commission must present to the council their annual report. And that's what I'm here to do tonight, the annual report of the Porter County Redevelopment Commission for 2023. Financially, the expenses in 2023 amounted to about $115,000, spread over consulting fees and contracts and printing and publication costs. The South Haven TIF, which is the only TIF that the Redevelopment Commission has at this point in time, it did not generate any revenue in 2023. It is expected to generate revenue in 2024 this year.
And that's the gas station, right, on the corner?
Yes, the Casey's gas station, correct. The other sources of funds for the Redevelopment Commission and the balance of those funds for 2023 is $1,128,285. Activities of the Redevelopment Commission during 2023, I believe Joy handed out to you a handout that I put together. The Redevelopment Commission partnered with the Office of Community and Rural Affairs, that's a state agency, through their Next Level Connections program, which is related to broadband. The Porter County Public Library and the Board of Commissioners and the Redevelopment Commission to identify areas lacking reliable, high-speed broadband internet coverage in Porter County. The survey went out to 74,000 homes, residences, and businesses in Porter County to assess people's internet access and quality of service. The goal of the survey was to get the best picture possible of the internet health in Porter County. There are millions of federal dollars that are allocated to Indiana for broadband internet. The survey process found out where in Porter County unserved and underserved addresses exist that the state could spend their future funding on. Okra reviewed those addresses submitted to them and identified and added to their list 442 addresses that were determined to be unserved or underserved. Addresses not included on their list from the survey were addresses that already have approximately 100 up and 20 down speeds, or have already been funded by other existing sources of funding for broadband. They also completed an income survey for OKRA, again, the Office of Community and Rural Affairs, for a particular area of South Haven bounded by US Highway 6, Wolf Road, County Road 750 North, West 700 North, and State Road 149. And we completed an income survey in that area, which showed that 58% of the population is of low to moderate income and thus eligible for OKRA grant funding. The type of grant funding that's available are planning grants for various things, comprehensive plans, infrastructure such as water, sewer, storm, public facilities, libraries, fire stations, things like that. And then also construction of public facilities, infrastructure, so on and so forth.
Excuse me. When you say underserved and the 100 meg, 200 megs, that's just anybody that could get it, not that actually has it, right? It's offered to you as a homeowner? So like if I had Comcast, I don't use them, but they're there. So now I'm not underserved, right?
That is correct.
Did you guys look at pricing at all involved at the cost to get above that 100 meg service or no?
No, all we did was try to identify addresses to make sure that as many addresses as possible were on the next level connections list, because this list then goes to the new broadband funding program. Okay. And so that was our purpose, to determine unserved or underserved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We also reviewed USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, has various grant programs for rural areas. And there are many grant programs that are related to housing, single-family housing, multiple family housing. And Porter County has an area east of Chesterton and south of I-90 Ford, which includes the Dunes, Heron, Rookery, and the surrounding area to County Line Road in Pines Township, that was currently, at the time, ineligible for any housing funding from USDA. And the Redevelopment Commission supported and wrote in support to USDA, asked to expand the eligible area to include the area that I described successfully. So there are now additional USDA housing opportunity programs available to about 400, 500, 600 people that were not available before. And then also in your packet is a housing brochure that we put together to promote this program to realtors and banks and things, to make them aware that the program is available. And another project that we did inside the TIF was the South Haven mowing and debris cleaning. The Redevelopment Commission sought quotes, and the area between Burger King and Dairy Queen, it was high grass, a lot of garbage. What happened is that people entering and exiting couldn't see. They had no sight distance. And the property itself that had the debris and the weeds, it was in question as to where the property line was. The property owner adjacent to it wouldn't take responsibility for it. So we used TIF funds to accomplish that.
Wait, so we don't know who owns it? We don't know who owns this property?
We don't know who owns it. What we didn't know is who owns the easement. Or
Look, you guys cleaned up the entire property. Wouldn't that be on the homeowner? Or not the homeowner, but the landowner?
It would be the landowner, but I'm not sure about it because I wasn't here last year for all of that, and I apologize for that.
Because it looks really pretty, but it just seems. Property owner?
There was some sort of school, and maybe you can help me out. Do you remember, Scott?
I don't remember who
There-
owns it. It says.
There
it
was a school was back there, is going to build some type of school, and then they contested that that wasn't their property.
It's a retention pond, and that was part of the issue, so.
Okay.
So, we
The
did.
only school that I know that was there at one time was South Haven Christian.
Aren't they building a new one there?
There's a new school being
daycare?
built there
Yeah.
with a non-traditional name, I can't remember.
Yeah, big daycare. It's huge.
Jim?
Interesting.
Wish they would do my property.
And then another project we worked on was an economic development project. We partnered with Hebron to assist with bringing an economic development project along 231. It was outside the town, but the town is working on providing the utilities, and the redevelopment commission would create a TIF district to support the financing of those utilities to this prospective development, which would invest about $14 million and create about 35 jobs if it comes to fruition. And that would be the end of my report. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them to the best of my ability.
Do you know anything about this meat packing thing that's trying to go down there in Hebron?
That is Project Ribeye, yes.
Yeah, Project Ribeye, so
Yeah.
how's that coming along? Or is there anything that you would be involved with that?
The Redevelopment Commission is looking to partner with the town of Hebron and Project Ribeye to create a TIF district out there to help finance the infrastructure improvements, the utilities, water and sewer.
Because I know there was some concern as to whether there was a right-of-way or not.
And there is not. So that's the utility problem.
Okay.
Correct.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Good.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
for your time.
Appreciate it. We have, commissioners are up.
Thank you.
Evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Evening.
Hey, Commish.
Opioid unrestricted fund, additional $10,000 contractual services. This is for the Moraine House. I think something we have already, is this something we've already discussed or, I'm not sure. Is this something we already discussed?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It was appropriated last year. Mary's here to explain any questions that you might have as to why we didn't budget for it again. But we have to reappropriate it because they did not make a claim against that.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Any questions?
Well, Mary, being that you're here, why didn't you?
Our house director went through some healthcare issues, which ended in the loss of his leg. So he's in and out of the hospital, and we were more concerned with stabilizing the house than getting this emergency exit done, but it's now been completed.
But you're ready to go with it now?
Yeah, it's already, yeah, we just finished.
Okay.
Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Brickner,
Yes?
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yeah.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
6-0.
Okay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Next, we have, still with the Commissioners, ARPA COVID Fiscal Recovery Fund, additional $107,500 to contractual services. ARPA money request to replace the rooftop HVAC unit at the courthouse and JDC's cooling tower. Open for discussion. Any questions? All good? We have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
6-0.
Lastly, we have an additional $32,480 to contractual services, ARPA money requested for the Marquette Trail project. Any questions on,
Is this just additional monies needed to finish it type of thing, or get it started, or
Yes.
what's at with it?
To keep it moving.
Oh, okay.
We had run short. I'm not crystal clear as to why.
Just as the estimates have changed since we did the ARPA and things have gotten more in focus, I believe that's the 34,470, is that the number?
32,480.
Okay, that is the money I believe needed to finish, I want to say legs 5 and 6 of the Calumet Trail. So I think those numbers have come into focus and so that's a specific number for those projects.
very good.
Do we still need more funding for the trail after this?
Yes,
Still more needed?
yep. We'll be building trails for generations.
Mr. President, I make a motion, we approve 32,480 for contract.
Second.
We have a motion, a couple of seconds. Roll call, please.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
6-0.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Counsel.
Elections and registration, Jessica?
Good night. Thank you. Have a good night. There's a Hava grant.
We have,
We have a grant.
HAVA.
Hava grant.
I like that, HAVA, Help America Vote Act. Okay. Grant fund, additional 27,000 reimbursement appropriation needed to reimburse the election and registration budget.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
What's going on? Can you just kind of explain real quick? We took the money out of there, we got to put it back type of thing, or?
Yeah, we received a $27,000 grant from the Secretary of State's office, and it's a reimbursable grant, so we have to spend the money, and then the Secretary of State's office will reimburse us.
Awesome. Nice work. Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody else? Good. Roll call, please.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask, how's the voting going?
Slow.
Slow? Slow.
Across the state, it's slow.
Juvenile probation. Welcome.
Chris?
We have juvenile probation general fund.
Oh, he's giving back money.
It's like a reduction.
Yes. No.
Move to approve the reduction.
I would like the
I'll
reduction.
second that, Mike.
Really.
We have a motion and a second on the reduction. Any further discussion? Good? Roll call, please.
Brickner,
Yes?
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
6-0.
In Form 144, 65,570 reduced to 49,193 for a probation officer.
Move to approve?
Did I hear a motion?
Yes, sir.
We have a
Second.
Second? Any questions? Good. Roll call, please.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you, guys.
Great job.
Goes-
Allison, juvenile detention. Juvenile detention general fund, Form 144, $53,000 to $53,384 to $54,430. Assistant director, these look like salaries, I can go down here, but these look like salaries that were approved in January, is that correct?
Correct.
So we're just kind of cleaning it up.
I was not on my A game in January apparently and forgot to turn it into 144.
That's a first.
So I wanted to thank Karen and Christy. They were extremely helpful, so.
Let me ask the Karen, can we do all of these at once since are we kind of cleaning these up? Are they retroactive? We do them one at a time?
You have to do 144s one at
One at a time?
And also, in regards to the cook, I will need that retroactive to March 11th and not to 8th. The other two are for the 18th.
I'm sorry, which one?
The assistant director and detention manager will be retroactive to March 18th. The cook changes will be retroactive to March 11th.
Still same amount, so.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
We can do that without advertising that.
duly noted. We have a motion,
That is Karen, yeah.
Second?
a motion, a second for the first one. Roll call, please.
Graham? Yes, Graham?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Bozak?
Yep.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Brickner?
Yes.
And I'm Stone, sorry.
Okay, yes.
6-0.
Got everybody? Okay. Moving to the next one, JDC service fees, codes fund, additional, again, this is one for March 11th. Allison, you're saying?
This one will be March 18th,
18th.
retroactive.
Okay. Any questions? We have a motion?
Motion.
I'll
Second.
We have a mo-
Hey, you guys, get your act together.
we have a motion and a second for this additional. Roll call, please.
Stone? Yes. Graham?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Bozak?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Brickner?
Yes.
6-0.
And one last one here, 6,500, 12,340. And what's the date on this one? Retroactive to?
March 18th.
18th again, okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second it.
Motion a second. Roll call, please.
Graham?
Yes.
Sims?
Yes.
Bozak?
Yes.
Vasquez?
Yes.
Brickner?
Yes,
And Stone.
Yes.
0.
Thank you, everybody.
thank you. Parks.
What's up, Jake?
Going, Jake.
How's it going?
Parks General Fund, looks like we have an additional request here to salaries. Additional needed to cover the cost of remaining payroll for 2 new full-time positions.
We're wanting 2 new.
Yeah, so we're looking to ask the council to approve 2 new positions for us. One is a full-time naturalist and one is a full-time maintenance repair technician. And that is due to the fact that we are just drastically understaffed at the moment for what we have to take care of. The acreage that we deal with, the equipment that we deal with, the facilities that we deal with, and the amount of programs that we put on are just more than what we can adequately handle with the staff that we have. So with these 2 new staff members, we'd be able to better take care of the parks, put on more programs, and be more effective and better serve the community to the capacity that we should be. And that's why we're asking for these 2 positions now.
And at budget time, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was saying at budget time, you did ask for this, and we said we would look at this
Yep.
going forward. My question is between the naturalist and the repair maintenance, which one do you think is gonna help you pay for the salary?
If we go that route, the one I would ask for first would have to be the naturalist. If we go,
What that does? What's a naturalist?
so the naturalist is part of our programming staff. So that's our parks to schools, that's our field trips, that's the Camp Fun Set, that's all of our nature programs, that's our guided hikes, that's a lot of our interaction with the public out at the parks, and a lot of our educational programs come out of the naturalist office under the program director.
And is this, I believe we were talking last year that if we could hire somebody else, out at Sunset Hill Farm, there's, I don't know how many, a lot of kids don't get into these programs. If you could explain that when we open up
Yeah.
and how many people come in and we shut the door and a lot of people
Yeah, I can
in the program.
give some more insight into that. So this year for camp, we had 680 kids register for over the course of 8 weeks. So we have 85 kids in every week right now. And as of yesterday, we had 159 on the wait list. So we've had to turn 159 kids away simply because we don't have the capacity to address that.
With a naturalist, how many would you have to turn away?
I would at least be able to add between 40 and 50 off of that wait list back into it. So that would be, I wouldn't be able to do that this year because it's already, set in planning, but I would be able to make a pretty significant dent in that wait list if I was able to get the full-time staff necessary for it. And then at this point, we're also, one of our big ones that we are finishing in the next couple months are field trips. So schools come to Sunset Hill, we put on educational field trips. They meet Department of Education standards, so they actually count towards curriculum. We are turning schools away right now because we can't meet the demand. So we're actually pushing schools already now out into the fall and filling up the fall term for field trips at this moment already.
What's your goal of being able to pay for the naturalist, or how much and when? What's a time frame?
Realistically, I think if we can get it out of the general fund for 2 years, I would be able to take about half of that salary out of the general fund and start covering out of the operating fund. I think at that point, I'll be able to generate the revenue necessary to take some of that load off of the general fund and reduce some of that expenditure. But I've got to have it for 2 years at least. That way I can sustain the revenue and prove that I've got the money.
And the maintenance repair technician, the guy that's gonna fix stuff, right? I mean,
So that's,
self-explanatory.
yeah, so they take care of the facilities, the grounds. We mow over 100 acres a week. We take care of 50-plus buildings, some of which are almost 100 years old. And yeah, right now we're doing that with 1 full-time guy and 3 part-time.
So if we
And it's
were,
not working.
just wondering, if we were to approve the naturalist and not do the maintenance repair, if that was on the table, are you still gonna be able to make it and get the grass mowed and everything as you have been?
Yes, but it'll be rough. We could make it work. I'll have to come back and ask pretty quickly in a couple more months.
Ask for
it. I'd have to come back and ask for it pretty quickly in a couple more months, come budget time. But
How much what's your hourly? What do you have in for hourly? Do you use that? Do you expend hourly?
yeah, we were actually in the process of trying to hire another part-time employee because I had one decide not to come back. I had a part-time naturalist quit about a week ago, so I'm trying to replace the part-time naturalist, and then I'm trying to hire seasonal help as well. We hire seasonal mowers, seasonal camp staff, seasonal naturalists as well out of that. So we do use a hefty amount of that hourly, as assuming I can find people to work. So we hit the hourly account pretty heavily as well to offload some of that, because in the summer it ticks up and we get to the point where we fall behind because we can't keep up with the mowing because I don't have the staff to do it. We do try to pass some of that off to seasonal staff as well to help that out.
When Red originally asked the question, he asked, which one would kind of generate revenue, right? That's
It's the naturalist.
So let me just ask you this, which position, not based on that, do you need the most? If we're only doing one, if we're doing any, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, if we're only doing one, honestly, it's a what-if question. Yeah, it's
You need them both, but.
yeah. There's no real answer to that. So that they're both equally valuable to the department. They just provide a different value. So there's no real answer.
Well,
Anytime we can get more kids in a program, though.
Yeah.
You gotta admit, that's, I mean, because Sunset Hill Farm, I don't think people realize how much they do, how big a part that is, and all the festivals and different things they have going on. And I've been an advocate for Sunset Hill to start doing bigger and better things, which I think we are doing there, so.
We're trying.
Amphitheater's going in this summer.
Yep. That's gonna be so cool.
It's gonna be so cool.
It is.
But it's gonna be
excited.
a huge draw, which is gonna create additional needs at the parks. We're hoping with the sale of the Township property, we're putting some toilets in there, to increase the availability to facilities at the park for our residents.
Yeah, more amenities, better services all the way around.
But things are starting to look tired, and I think Jake does an amazing job of maintaining what he has with what he has, but it's getting tired, and you can see where things are just not being. Things are just looking tired. Our trails need help. Our, the flora, fauna out there. I mean, it all needs a little bit of help. And we're talking, Sunset Hill Farm is by far our flagship. I mean, nobody disputes that. But we've got Brinka too, which is the
the pure volume of maintenance that needs to go out there because of the type of plantings that there are is just amazing. And it's a hidden gem, but it's also a very time consuming.
Yeah.
And I would like to thank you. You worked with Doolin Schools to get that program out there, and that's going to be really, I think that's going to be really beneficial. I mean, I think the stuff that they're going to do as far as the equipment that's going to be rented that you guys are going to be able to utilize, concrete that can be donated for Sunset Hill, I think it's going to be really impactful on,
It's cool.
I think for everybody, for Doolin, the kids, the program, and the
Yeah.
parks, God willing, so,
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
yeah.
Excited.
And I appreciate that, doing that forward thinking, like what can we do to, improve
Yep.
this and save money, so it's great, thank you.
Well, I'll make a motion to do the naturalist. One, just the one for now. I don't know if we want to do the other, but I'll make a motion to hire the naturalist.
Now, looking at the numbers, if you do a naturalist, that's only gonna, add another 19,200, if my numbers are right? You're asking for additional 74.5. A naturalist would be 55.2, which means you've got some money somewhere.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see?
52 plus 55 doesn't equal the 70.
Correct.
Oh, that's just to finish out this year.
Oh, because you're 3 months in.
Yeah, so it's not the full year salary.
Okay, and then you said you have a part-time naturalist open, no one's applied for that, or no one's yet?
We're actively trying to recruit that open position right now.
Okay, but Mike, I guess my other question is, I was listening to what you were saying, you need the naturalist to increase your numbers of activities you got going, but yet you don't have a naturalist now half. How did you, those numbers, you had people come into the program without a naturalist being there?
No, we have the naturalist now. He's leaving actively.
Okay.
He's on staff for about another week.
Okay, if this was put to a full-time position, would he stay and take that full-time spot?
No, it'd be a different naturalist on staff, but yeah, and then I would replace that part-time, is the plan.
How many naturalists do you have on staff?
Right now, I've got 3, all part-time.
3?
And then I'd have a full-time one, and then I'd still have the three part-time.
Part-time's leaving, correct?
1 part-time's leaving.
So you'll be down to 2 part-time.
Yep. And then I bring in another one that works in the summer, which brings the total staff up to 4. Ideally, I can find a 5th, but that's to be determined.
Okay. So again, getting back, so is it 19, is that correct? You only need another 19,200? No?
I don't know what pay period we're in right now.
Yeah, we had written this up for the last meeting, so the number might be less for what we would need to carry for the rest of the year.
I like the additional programming, being able to bring additional kids in. I think there is a need for the maintenance repair technician, but I just don't know that it makes sense for us as a council now. I want to see the naturals get done, and maybe we do that too.
Andy, I would second your motion.
1.5?
Well,
Yeah, no,
what about if we push half the salary from one of them over into the 1179? And that would.
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
The 1179 is your part.
To put it into the operating budget?
Right, and at least that gives us to employees, I mean, we should be able to cover that,
Yeah.
half that salary.
Like so.
Really what,
In regards to the technician you're talking about?
Yeah, I would cover half of the technician out of our operating account, which is our revenue.
we'll bring additional paperwork to you next meeting.
So we can discuss that further.
At least if we can get, the approval, we can get the budget documentation in. We'll have to revise the 144.
Well, I think we should personally just approve try for the naturalist now, and then maybe the next vote right after this.
Yeah, budget.
Discuss that.
Just
Or maybe the budget time. I don't know, but you might want to, we got a motion on the table in a second with the natural.
The only reason why, like I said, if it's gonna help now, I think it's a great idea. But I know we did talk about it at budget time and, getting more kids into that program. And if we were trying to get more kids, I'll be honest with you, I'd vote no.
Right.
We're not trying. They're staying at home.
They're there.
How many kids are at home? What did you say? 500?
159.
So 159 kids can't come to the parks and use the parks. So with that, that's
So we have a motion
a second.
and a second for the naturalist. Oh,
Yeah, and I don't know what that total number is to add that to the motion.
What do you mean, a total number?
Well, the additional was for 74,500. That was the rest of the year for the naturalist and the maintenance repair tech.
Oh, we're
Since
taking-
we're on that additional now, I don't know what to make the motion for, what number I need to say, to just have the naturalist for the rest of the year. Could you, do you know?
Forward.
I couldn't hear you, I'm sorry.
34,250.
7,250.
Oh, 37,250.
Okay, I'll amend my motion for the 37,250 additional, cover the naturalist.
I would withdraw my original motion, and I'd make a second for that corrected number.
There you go.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second for the amended dollar amount. The only thing I'm just going to add before we vote is that for the last couple of years, we've been talking about our county parks really needing to be shored up. And I think we were all in agreement, at those discussions. We did a search for a new director. We were able to get Jake, and our parks are one of the pillars of, any community or a county for quality of life issues. You have schools, public safety, I think the volunteerism in those communities, but parks is one of those pillars. And I think this is a move in that direction to try and continue to shore up our parks, because I think there's a lot of potential there. And so anyway, with that being said, I do think you've been doing a great job with what you have, and we're here to try and help you take it to the next level.
Oh, we appreciate it.
But we have a motion and a second for the naturalist only. Any further discussion? No. Roll call, please.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
and Stone.
Yes.
Motion
I will need
carried.
to do the 144 with the 55,250.
Make a motion to approve the 55,250 for the naturalist.
I will second that motion, Mr. Bozak.
We have a motion and a second for Form 144. Any discussion?
I thought we just did that.
No, we did the moving the money first. We did the additional. now
Oh,
we did
okay.
Form 140.
Okay, thank you.
From Peter DePaul.
Yeah. Pocket to
Is
pocket.
that correct, Karen?
Correct.
We're good.
Pool to pool.
Roll call, please.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
6-0.
Very good. Thank you. Good
Jake,
job.
thank you, I appreciate it. for all
Good
you
luck.
do.
Jake, I would, just personal suggestion, I would try that in the budget session for next year.
Maintenance one?
The maintenance one, or, talk to council members, I don't know.
We'll give you a couple of breaks. We'll give you a couple months of break.
Yeah, we'll try to come back. So,
Yeah, let this settle in.
I think you got to stay attacking, stay on top of it. You guys are kicking in butt over there. I almost said bad word. You guys are kicking butt over there, so thank you. And that's not just you, your team, staff,
And don't forget, you got 3 liaisons that here on this board, so they keep us advised.
keep us advised.
The new parks equipment, I don't know about that on 18th.
The 18th of
May.
May, yep. We're gonna
Time?
11:30. So it'll be the ribbon cutting for the new playground out at Sunset Hill.
Oh, cool.
And it gets a lot of use. People are loving it. So
And many beer gardens.
Oh, well then.
Out of beer gardens.
we're doubling the amount this year still.
No, I won't.
And everything else, so that's,
When you get a herbal tea garden, let me know.
A tea garden? I think we can help you out. We got a community garden out there. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good night, Jake.
Very good.
Yeah.
Next, assessor.
Oh, she brought the team.
You really had a whole crew with her.
The crew.
Muscle. We have here assessor general fund, additional 100,000 to contractual services. Appropriation need to hire an outside vendor to assist in commercial and industrial reassessment. All right.
Okay, I shared a letter with you which explained a lot of what is going on here. What I'm hoping to do is go out for bid. The change from what we normally do would be adding this commercial and industrial reassessment. We would be looking for assistance in us doing boots on ground, getting out there and doing these reassessments. What we know right now is that our commercial assessments are low compared to the rest of the state and compared to um, um, especially other counties right near us. We know that those are low. This year, we had a new vendor that helped us with our ratio study, and they really brought it to the forefront of how low we are. So if we were to do this, go out for bid on this, we would be doing 3 different things. The ratio study, I'm hoping for a 3-year contract on this. The ratio study would be for 25, 26, and 27. This is something that we always do, and that's normally in my budget. Also, a land order for 2025. Again, something we do every 4 years. In the past, we've done every 4 years, once in our reassessment cycle, and the money is in my budget already for that. Then the third thing, one of the things that we are looking to change up a little bit on is rather than doing a land order once every 4 years, as we've done in the past, networking with different colleagues down at conference, they've shared with us how they're doing it and ways of cost cutting. So rather than doing one land order for 1 year, we're going to start doing it every year. When we do our ratio study, we will also be looking at land values on a yearly basis, and that's included in the ratio study, and then we don't have to do a separate land order, and that's a cost savings for us. We see that's a cost savings. So then the third, so we'll do a land order in 25, which we have to do by statute, and for 26 and 27, we'll do it within our ratio study. Then the third one will be the commercial and industrial reassessment for 25, 26, and 27. We recently lost our commercial guy that's been out doing our commercial reassessment. The county didn't lose him. He moved over to the prosecutor's office. For them, they gained a good guy. But that left us without someone with the knowledge of commercial reassessment. And what we're learning is that we didn't really have anyone that could do the commercial reassessment that was super knowledgeable. We know that our values were low, but we didn't know how to get them up and defend them within our current budget. So by bidding this, there's several things in this bid that they'll be doing. They'll do the commercial reassessment, and they will defend any appeals that come from that. And those appeals can be very expensive. Like right now, we've got a Menards, a big box out there that we're going to IBTR on, and it's not going to be cheap. But it's important that we do it, because if we bend on one, all the other ones will come forward and say, well, you gave them that, you got to give that to us, so we need to defend these. So within this contract, they will defend all the appeals. So, as I mentioned in my letter, I'm estimating that this contract will come in at about $180,000. $80,000 is already in my budget for things that we already do, so it would be the extra $100,000 that I'm looking for. Depending where the bid comes in, I would be looking for that $100,000 to be added to my budget for this year, 25 and 26. If it came in less, obviously we wouldn't need that much, and we would go a little bit lower for that. Again, the estimate's right at about 180. So I'm looking for 100,000 from the council.
How much? I'm sorry, go ahead, Andy.
How much do you think will generate in regards to this with the commercials? That's number one. And number two, will your people shadow this commercial person in order so that they can learn, so that if there's areas of expertise that we can pick up with your people shadowing them to help cut the costs on maybe the next time you do it?
Thank you for asking that. The money that we're looking to raise, we're looking at bringing up our gross assessed value, and we think that we'll increase our revenue between 7 million up to 18 million.
Wow.
So it's a substantial amount that would pay back. Keep in mind, this is for the 25 reassessment, and we do it in sections. For instance, we would start with maybe gas stations, convenience stores, and fast food restaurants is what we would hit right off the bat. But when we raise that assessment for 2025, those revenues we wouldn't realize until 2026. So that's one thing. But then it will be perpetual. So we'll always see that at advanced revenue. And yes, part of that contract is that the people who are going out and doing the reassessment will train 2 of our people. So after that 3rd year, we should not need any more assistance, and we'll have people on staff that will be able to do that reassessment.
So basically, we're not only making money, but we're training people at the same time.
Correct.
We're training people that work for the county, not elected officials. I mean, I want you to learn it too, but, you know,
No, you're right.
we would retain that
2
now.
of our staff members.
Yeah.
will-
Awesome.
Right,
That's cool.
okay.
So doing it now versus waiting for budget, what's the, approving it now versus putting into our budget for next year, what's the advantages of approving it now, just getting someone on board and getting it going, or?
The reassessment runs May 1st to December 30th. So that's the only time we're allowed to reassess that. So we need to get up and going now in order to get it done.
Because the longer we wait, again, if we didn't do it until starting in '25, we wouldn't realize that income until '27. And the most important thing, in my office, we vow to be fair and equitable to all Porter County taxpayers and all Porter County landowners. And right now, because our commercial and industrial is low, the residential is bearing the brunt of that.
So basically, we're going to spend a little money to make a lot of money.
Yes.
By doing this, would this decrease the tax rate of residential then, potentially? I mean, if you're raising the other one way up, commercial, that would raise lower residential?
I always, just to try to be as basic as possible, is to say A times B equals C. A is your assessed value, B is your tax rate, C is the revenue derived. So if your AV goes up, your tax rate can come down to maintain that revenue. Now, if the AV goes up and you have a big project that you need, you may leave that the same and see that revenue. But it is across the board.
Are you gonna have a lot of businesses angry about this? Is that the type that you're gonna have to worry about?
Hey, but again.
But it's doing the right thing for fair.
Exactly.
It's fair.
It is the right thing to do. And the other thing is I've got Lana Boswell is with us. She's the one who, she's part of the group that did our ratio study this year. It's Nexus Group that did our ratio study, and they're one of the people that pointed out how low our values are, and did these estimates to share to tell me how much we could, derive from making these changes.
Good work. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Just a couple of questions. So you have a deadline then, is that what you're saying?
Well, what I'd like to do, if you approve the funding, then I have a bid specification that was reviewed by the county attorney, and that will go out for bid tomorrow. I will have that bid due for May 14th, I believe, is the commissioners' meeting. And at that point, we would be able to award that bid, get going.
So really, tonight's meeting is the deadline, or if this were to be, we couldn't do this at another meeting after.
If we delayed it and did it at another meeting, I would say that it would inhibit us in getting started, because May 1st to December 31st, it may seem like a very long time, but there's a lot of parcels out there. So we have a lot of work in front of us, and we really need every day possible. When we go out for bid, there are 4 different vendors in the area that could possibly bid on this. Lana's group is one of them, but there's also other ones out there, so we'll see. I'm hoping for some competition and some good numbers to come in.
You have a reassessment budget?
We do.
Are you already using some of that money?
We use all that money.
Yeah.
And what we'll do, so I said that we had that, I have about 80,000. That 80,000 is going to come from moving some monies around. So I'll probably be, once we know what the contract comes in at, I'll probably be back to move some monies around to pull away from places that we may not need it. And of course, if there's any money available in our reassessment budget, we always use that first. And if you, the auditor can attest that that we spend our reassessment money before we ever touch general fund money.
But we're moving money when we don't have a contract yet. So does it make more sense for you to get the contract and then we'll move the money? Because it could be less, it could be more.
You are correct, but I want to know that I have the funding available before I go to bid.
But we could tell you that with a vote, right? We don't have to move the money now. We could just tell you that and then move the money later.
True.
I'm just asking.
No, that's true.
Oh, that makes
About the same.
Okay, that's not. Yeah, I just hate to move money that we don't know for sure yet. I mean, you know, we can give you, I would assume, maybe a vote.
But any money that you got that we didn't use, you'd give back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if we remember to ask for it back.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Back.
Well, commercial is our biggest thing now with appeals, and we have to get appraisals, which are very expensive, and so are defending them, and we've used them in the past to defend our commercial appeals, and it gets pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So this 100,000 could be above and beyond what you might actually.
You're not thinking it's going over there.
I'd like to recall my motion. So we're on the same page. I'd like to make a new motion, though, that we pass this once we know the amount. I guess you can't even do that. What kind of motion would you make?
So yeah, it's hard to do that.
Because what if they come back and it's 200,000?
Oh, my goodness.
It might still make sense if it's bringing in more revenue to the county and making things more fair, but we don't have good numbers.
What are you basing your,
That was gonna be
this
my question.
100,000 estimate on?
Well, two of the vendors that I've worked with rather closely have both given me ideas of what they think it would come in at. Of course, no one's giving me a definite amount. And the 180, in my opinion, is on the high end.
And it's based on parcel count. How many parcels we have.
Any recommendation from our attorney on how to handle that, or just move
You
it?
can approve up to the 100, and presumably it's going to be less than that, just based on everything that's been said. And if it goes over, it's not going to. It's only approved at the 100. You could do it that way.
You could maybe say up to 100,000.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which is,
And that way, if it's less, they wouldn't get moved, right, Karen? That works? Okay, I'll make that motion.
So yeah, so if the total came up to 150, you're gonna take 80 of your money and only need 70 from us.
Right.
Okay,
I'd make a motion to do that, up to 100,000.
that sounds good.
Now, I did speak with, briefly with our financial people here, the auditor and helpers, and because this 100,000 is going to come from the general fund, and they did have some ideas on where that could possibly be coming from.
Good.
So that gave me some comfort. Not a lot, but some. in being more favorable for it.
Pull some options other than general fund money.
Well, that we would be able to cover it without, from what Ryan said. Is that right, Ryan?
Right. You want to explain to
Right. Would you explain that?
So with additional monies made from the treasurer's office
Mhm.
in investments, right now we have a little bit of a surplus general fund in order to take on this.
Cool.
For the next 3
Second motion.
Then I would like to second Andy Bozek's revision, which includes
Is up to 100.
up to 100,000.
Yes, sir.
That's the amended.
Yes.
We have an amended motion up to 100,000, and we have a second.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Okay, your roll call, please.
He doesn't shake his.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sue.
Thank you.
Good work.
She's going to get a lot of phone calls.
Mm-hmm. A lot of phone calls.
911. We have E911 donation fund, additional $58.81.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Enough here. Roll call, please.
Bozak,
Indisposed.
Okay. Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
5.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fort County Sheriff.
No.
Maybe.
We have let me see, Sheriff General Fund, a transfer, $30,000 from salaries.
Mr. President, I make a motion. We approve the $30,000 from salaries to overtime.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, on the transfer. All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Accident Report Fund, additional $5,000 to other equipment needed to cover the cost of a trailer for the accident reconstruction team.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
Do we have a trailer already?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, this haul all the equipment so it can be ready to go and for deployment.
Yeah.
Instead of transfer it from a vehicle to a vehicle, trying to find the person maybe that has it in their car or their vehicle, keep it all condensed. in one.
Sounds good. Yeah, I forgot to ask you that earlier, but yeah.
That's all right. Yep.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Abstain.
absent. Vasquez,
Yes.
did you say abstain?
Yes. I don't know what I was voting on, so.
5.
Okay, motion carries. Sheriff's Donation Fund, additional $2,000 to uniform and clothing. This needed to cover the cost of apparel for the local outreach to suicide survivor team, LOSS.
Mr. President, I make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
6.
Okay, jail general fund. We have a transfer of $25,000 to salaries. Overtime transfer needed to cover the cost of overtime to fill shift shortages while employees are in training.
Move to approve.
Second.
Just one quick question, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
How much more training do you've got to go?
Pardon me?
For the employees, how much more training? How time period?
It kind of depends, but I'm going to guess probably within the next, probably get them fully trained and ready and out of FTO in the jail, 3 months.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, this is transfer. We have a motion, a second. All those in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have inmate processing fee fund. This is an additional $5,000 to other supplies. Appropriation to cover the cost of first aid kits for the jail SRT transport device for high-risk inmates.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
6.
Motion carries. Next, we have the Mental Health Block Grant Fund. Looks like some additionals. Do we do these individually also, Karen, all these, or?
I move to approve all of them. It's a grant and they're all for.
Second.
Do we do that? Or do we do
With
them
additionals, you're not supposed to, just in case there's, but
one at a time? Okay.
if you guys are in agreement, then you don't, think there's going to be any controversy.
I want to avoid controversy at all costs
Then
Me too.
at this stage. Could you mind just going through these real quick?
No.
No.
All right. Additional 1,500, the first one,
I second the motion.
we have a motion, a second. Roll call, please.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Aye.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Motion carries. We're on to the next one. Additional 3,000.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, second. Roll call, please.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak,
Yes.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
6.
Okay. Next, additional 2,500 to training and.
Move to
Motion.
approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Partner,
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
6.
Okay, next, additional 1,000.
Move to
Oh,
approve.
motion.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Sims,
All right, you got
Yes.
Bozak.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Partner,
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
I'm considering.
And then we have one more additional 500 meals and lodging.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Bozak.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Partner,
Yes.
Stone.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
6.
Okay, moving on to the federal or DOC general fund. Additional 85,500 to contractual services, appropriation needed to cover the cost of Summerall Consultants for the preparation and negotiation of a new per diem rate for federal inmates.
Okay. In short, and I'll go into more detail, but it's an $85,400 or $500 investment that will be paid back by the end of the year due to the per diem increase, and will make approximately $515,000 over the next 3 years for that. The Fed money is appropriated every year. Right now for '24, we've got about $833,000 appropriated. And just to go over what the federal fund, what that federal money pays for, so you guys are aware of that. We've got, approximately out of 883, it covers some salaries in the jail, overtime money in the jail, the life insurance, pensions, uniform and clothing, groceries, $100,000 worth of groceries and food and groceries. It covers ammunition for the officers and the jail staff, housing and bedding, training and education, medical, there's some medical services, maintenance agreements, and the big one too is $300,000 of the federal money goes to buying squad cars every year. So this account, it generates a lot of money. And I understand that these contractual services are a lot. But for the fact that we can use this money through the county ordinance that the sheriff's office has, that money is going to be repaid. And I understand it comes from a general fund, but it's also a general fund money that is specifically used from the jail. And so I know that's a lot of money, but in short, we're going to get it back by the end of the year. Okay, and because of that investment, it's going to make almost a little over $500,000. So and with that money that we have appropriation out of this money that it's going to make, we also have to buy a new or an upgrade or buy a completely new jail scanner. Okay, that's a minimum of $100,000 right there. Okay, so this money that we're going to make, and we did this per diem assessment about 3 years ago. And so I think what under Sheriff Reynolds, and what I'm seeing is probably this consulting company who specializes in this contract negotiations. They break it down, what it costs every day. Like, for example, for our federal inmates, we get approximately $75 a day right now. That's going to increase to $90. So, it's I don't want, what's that?
You said, yeah, those.
Yeah. So, and I get it. So there's a lot of things. And my ultimate goal for the council and for us is, eventually, if we can get to where we need to be, I want to come to the council for manpower increases, pay raises, and overtime, okay, for different things, right? And this federal money is important to us, right? So it's beneficial to get as much as we can for housing these inmates. Our jail staff, we've used that money to create that special response team. There's a lot of things that we're doing with that money. So it pays for a lot of things that I don't come to you guys for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I would like to make that initial investment right now to get that additional money in the near future.
Oh, it pays off.
And you do this, I think, every 3 years?
I think we're going to look at doing this every 3 years. Yes.
'Cause I looked up, I believe this might be the company, called iDetain.
No, this is Summer.
Summer.
Yeah.
But it's a division of iDetain.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
they know exactly.
I'll tell you, it was really interesting. Once I start reading it, I'm like, okay, now I know why our, because I asked you, hey, will
Yep.
Scott McClure just, negotiate with them?
Is Scott here?
This is, no, this is kind of interesting. I think they do maybe about 25, 26 states. And their solution is the only commercially available evaluation tool which complies with the U.S. Office of Management and Budget, the Department of Justice. So pretty much they have the lock on doing this. So
Right.
we have,
Yeah.
yeah, so I start reading through this. It's pretty interesting. We could actually get our costs to understand for regular inmates, because I mean, the federal would be the same as a regular. So you could use it for other things, I guess, budgeting purposes.
Right.
But, I mean,
Off last time.
if we can,
Yeah.
if they can get us more money,
Yeah, and the way I look at it is, look, we're getting that money back by the end of the year, that initial.
exactly.
So
Are you giving it back to us?
it goes back to the general fund, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna ask
What's that?
if we can spend it.
I make a motion we approve.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any more questions for the sheriff?
I have just one question.
Yes.
What have we been doing it every 4 years, and now you're upping it to every 3 years?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, right? The last one had been several years. There wasn't a set renegotiation. Sheriff Reynolds, then 3 years ago, did this and got the per diem raised quite a bit, okay, through this company. And then they approached us saying, look, we can, it's time. We're doing other jails in the state. It would be a good time for us to do this. And so it made sense, since they were already working in Indiana, that we jump on board, because otherwise, if we don't do this, or if we wait till beginning of next year, we could be out $200,000, right? So it makes sense to jump on now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Brickner,
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak.
Yes.
6.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I got the vote. Have a good night, Sheriff.
Development Stormwater Management.
Mike.
Good evening.
MOC. Cumulative Bridge Fund. Additional $12,000 to hourly appropriation to pay part-time summer interns.
Oh, my God.
So, my understanding in the past, maybe not recent, in the summer, we hire college interns to work, give them better, fulfill their education requirements, as well as give them a taste of what it's like practicing their expertise in the field.
I don't know.
In the Cumulative Bridge Fund, there is no allocation for paying for interns, nor is there an hourly rate. And in the Plan Commission and the Stormwater Fund, there is a rate, and I'm sad to say it's $13 an hour, which right now the market is anywhere from $19 to $25 an hour for a summer college intern. And I did check with the auditor's office, and they did confirm that that is in a reasonable range. So what we're asking tonight is to make available an appropriation of $12,000 out of the Cumulative Bridge Fund, and have up to $22 an hour, maybe less, maybe 22, and then to raise the rate in the Plan Commission Fund and the Stormwater Fund to 22 an hour, or a maximum of 22 an hour, excuse me.
I make a motion, we approve the $12,000 hourly, and I can attest that our rate was way low. My daughter's a freshman in construction management at Purdue. She has a job with FH Passion in Michigan City, and she's right around $20 to $21 an hour for an intern. So that's what the market's paying out there. And Superior Construction as well.
Yes.
In Portage.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for this additional. Any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Brickner,
Yes?
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims,
Yes.
Bozak.
Yes.
Vasquez. 5.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Do you need to address the 144
144?
Yep.
Oh,
individually?
Sorry.
Different.
So up to $22 and, no, okay, go
I don't
ahead.
think the motion originally was just for the additional and not for the 144.
Right.
Wait,
So I'll make a motion for the 144 cumulative bridge.
three together. I make a motion, we do all three together at $22 an hour, Form 144 for part-time summer intern.
Second that.
Okay.
I guess that's one way of doing it.
Hey, Beth?
Good to do that, Karen?
She doesn't
This
like.
creates
If not, I'll do,
again?
I'll do them separately.
I thought we had to do the 144 separately.
Separately.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with 144.
I make a motion for $22 an hour for part-time.
Second.
summer intern.
From the cumulative bridge fund, the first one?
Yep.
Yep.
We have a motion,
Second.
Second.
and we have a second. Roll call, please.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
Bozak.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Brickner.
Yes.
6.
Next, Plan Commission.
I'll make a motion, 144 from the Plan Commission up to $22 an hour.
Second.
Motion a second. Roll call, please.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
Bozak.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Brickner.
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
6 votes.
Make the
Stormwater.
last 144 stormwater fund.
Second.
Motion a second. Roll call.
Sims.
Yes.
Bozak.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Yes.
Brickner.
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Superior Court 6, Judge Tody.
Transfer 161.
Handle that one.
Hmm?
He asked you to handle that one, Judge Tony.
Oh, okay, I can do that. In his absence, let me see, $161.73.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Okay. I think that concludes that part of the agenda, and we are now at the second reading.
The following appropriations have been approved by the council for the changes to the 2024 budget. In the general fund, salaries, $27,250, consulting, $5,000, contractual services, $100,000. Accident report, other equipment, $5,000. Cumulative bridge, hourly, $12,000. Opioid unrestricted contractual services, $10,000. Sheriff donations, uniforms and clothing, $2,000. E911 donation, other supplies, $58.80. Inmate processing, other supplies, $5,000. JDC code salaries, $5,840. Mental health grant, meals, lodging, $500. Uniforms and clothing, $1,500. Other supplies, $3,000. Training, $2,500. Printing and other supplies, $1,000. ARPA contractual, $139,980. BOVA grant, reimbursements, $27,000. Second reading.
Mr. President, I make a motion. We approve the second reading.
Okay.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor to approve the second reading indicate by saying, sorry, we need a roll call. Roll call.
Yep.
Brickner.
Yes.
Stone,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Sims.
Yes.
Bozak.
Yes.
Vasquez.
Sure.
6 votes.
Okay, motion carries. Now we are to, any other matter that comes before the council. Tourism Board of Directors, President Mitch Peters.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Mitch.
I've got some of my board here.
There's a policy change.
We're just gonna, discuss where we've been and where we're at today, the council and the board. So I want to introduce my board members that are here. From the executive committee, of course, is myself, Don Ensign, Barb Lusko. Don's the vice chair, I'm the chair, Don's the vice chair, Barb's the secretary, Richard Riley, which is down there, you've met, and Scott Tuft, who's a longstanding member who rounded it out to 5 so that we didn't have any ties. And then the board members that are here, Dave Bola, is there anybody, oh, okay, Dave, does anybody else? That's it. Eric, you want to be on the board? And so we're all here tonight.
Right now, true.
And I won't go into how long they've all served, but they've all served for quite a while. And they're sent, I think you should know who they're sent by, though. I'm, of course, your appointment, Don's Hebron Couts, Barb's Portage, Richard's the commissioner, and Scott's Valparaiso. There was a question raised at one time about the makeup of our board and whether or not it fairly represented the county. I think you can see there's 2 county positions on there, myself and Richard, and 3 of the communities. So and the communities go from north to middle to south. So it's a pretty representative executive committee. And these are people who are dedicated community leaders. They're problem solvers. They're people that get jobs done in their personal lives, in all of their appointments, and that's who we have on our executive committee and our board. And we had many thoughtful and detailed deliberations as we went through this process. And I want you to understand the process started in August, the committee meetings started in October. It's not like, you know, this took, to get here today has taken a long, hard road on many of us. And we considered all options and solutions. There's nothing we heard here or anywhere else in any of our many meetings that we did not consider and address in the course of our executive deliberations. It was a complex situation and we had to come up with a solution. And I appreciate.
Mitch, this is a reference to the director?
Yeah.
Is that what you were referring to? Okay.
Well, I'm just referring to the overall.
Well, that's the,
Any person, I'm referring to the process. We're going to talk about the process. We're not going to discuss details. We're way past that. And I appreciate the efforts of Redstone during this and the county council as a whole, Jim Biggs, the county commissioners, other elected officers or officials, Karen Martin, other employees, Rhonda Young at HR. We've had to interact and they've worked hard with us to make the necessary changes that we need to see in order to avoid miscommunication in the future. We as a board, and here I sit with half of them, or at least a simple majority, if you will, we as a board are committed to working with the county in all instances moving forward to transparency, communication, and accountability to our appointing bodies. Now, I'm committing that to you today. We have never had an executive session, nor have I ever met with an executive session with the council or the commissioners in 14 years that I've been there. This is a first. So we've never done this. This is new ground for us. And I'm proud of my executive committee, the efforts they put in, the deliberations that they executed, and the board as a whole. And I'm equally proud of the county in the way that they have stepped up and directed us. There's no excuses. I'm not here to offer an excuse. Until we had resolved the issue, we did not communicate it. We did not, you know, we weren't accountable as we could have and should have been. And in the future, we're going to be mindful of our responsibility. We're going to be accountable to our appointing authorities. We appreciate that each of you are accountable to the voters of Porter County. And we're committing to you, our responsibility is to place you in the best position possible to respond to the questions that you're asked by the public and the concerns of and to be informed, intelligent, and transparent in all matters. We're committed to that. Okay, this isn't going to happen again. We appreciate and we're already working to improve all the concerns: communication, transparency, accountability. Committees have been formed and activated for communication to ensure a more meaningful board involvement. The board is actively engaged in every aspect of the operations of Indiana Dunes. We're better connected to the county and the governing bodies. An executive summary has been formatted so that at each board meeting there's a streamlined process in place so that we can more easily update you to get you that information. Transparency, communication between us, the county HR, and the county auditor's office. I'm sorry, I pointed to you for HR, you're the auditor. But I'm almost there. They're underway to improve the transparency. We're giving detailed payroll and HR reports, and we're working on, you know, where we're gonna go with that. And there's meetings set up. Communication has improved and it's being executed. I've already told you, but I'll just remind you, we're going, you know, we got a lot going on with the gift shop, the hiring's in process, part-time employees to run that. We're reorganizing the organizational chart, job titles are changing, positions are changing, we're moving things around. The board's already approved all that. Modifications of previously budgeted and approved salaries, we're gonna shift those around to cover these new spots, so we're not coming for more money. But we are gonna come probably next meeting and say, okay, we did this, and it all adds up to the same number. But we're moving things around, we're making changes that we feel are critical in this process. Did you want to talk about, I want Christine to just talk about a few things very briefly. I know you're all tired. I have surgery scheduled at 6:30 in the morning, so I'm tired too. Go ahead.
Just toward the reorganization, just a few things that we're working on and a couple of things that we've already accomplished. The grants program that we run has been modified, simplification of the application process, streamline and selecting the reporting process, all that has taken place. The grant committee just met actually this morning, and we've tentatively approved $49,500 for distribution in '24, which is $500 shy of our $50,000 mark, so we're really excited to be able to put that money back into the community. The Porter County partnerships that we are involved in, we're working on reducing reporting with those partners, also identifying partnership opportunities that will leverage resources such as digital advertising, video, better social media coordination. We are rotating our board meetings to the Porter County venues so that our board can better understand how those work, which has been very well received. All the venues have been really excited about the changes that we're making. The strategic planning process, so I've done the board interviews and a lot of listening sessions with partners. Next on my list are all of you. I called most of you for our annual event and to introduce myself, and a lot of you seemed interested in meeting one-on-one, coming out to the visitor center, having a look around, hearing what we're up to. So I'm going to take you up on that, and I'll be reaching out to all of you soon. These meetings will inform our strategic planning process, and then discussions also with improvements at the visitor center, and just another step toward improving communication and transparency. And I just have a couple of things to pass out. This is just information for later. That's all I have, Mitch. You can keep talking, and I'll just pass these out.
Well, I could talk all night. So I was asked to come here and visit with y'all. It seems like I've done a lot of that lately. I do appreciate, and I mean that, I appreciate all of the effort that all of you have expended on it.
Thank you.
I intend to keep you informed, timely,
Thank you.
or as timely as possible.
No.
And I'm not talking about the day-to-day operation. I'm talking, you know, and I appreciate your attorney and the county attorney. Got to mention those input. But without their assistance and their input at the sessions, we'll call them, this would not occur. And David would be here, but he's still ill. So, and I will be here next month, even if I have to get a ride. So is there any questions or?
I do have some comments. First of all, I appreciate, all the members that are here tonight.
So do I.
And it looks like there's a lot of wisdom here this evening. As most of you know, I was out last month with some medical issues, but I was keeping up on some of the, just about all of the ongoings, and at the last meeting, I am going to revisit just a couple things, Mitch. But I was kept apprised of things that were going on, during my absence, and the situation with the director, and the money that was that we had to approve, the council had to approve for a buyout. And I was also Vice President Stone, who was, I appreciate you filling in during my absence. Meant a lot, but also the request for resignation, and there was a lot going on. I missed an exciting month, but and then I saw your reply, as well to that request, and I've been able to gather a little bit more information in reference to this. The situation. That's why I was asked this concerning the director of the tourism, who has been there over 30 years, I think, over 20 years as the director. And, just some questions as to, it seemed like, there were some, the resignation and then this issue of the $225,000 that we were committed, that the council had to approve, and, I saw that that was approved, I'm gonna use the word reluctantly to some degree, because that's a substantial amount, of taxpayer money, even though it's innkeeper's tax, but it's still taxpayer money. So I do need to revisit this, and I appreciate what you're saying about, transparency and moving forward, and from this time forward, communication, but I do have some concerns with our appointee and the lack of communication that was not taking place during this process. I guess if it was a process, I had no idea as a president of the council that there were any type of concerns with the director. To be honest with you, as this moved forward, once money became an issue, a substantial amount of money, taxpayer money, I guess I'm a little surprised that there wasn't any communication from our appointee to either myself as council president, or, from what I understand, the vice president of the council, just as a FYI or courtesy that this was taking place, and as a heads up, you're going to have to approve a $225,000 or so buyout. So I have some concerns with that. And again, I appreciate what you're saying now, moving forward. But our responsibility as a council are to the taxpayers. And, I think that, our appointments to boards, in this case, Mitch, I mean, you're an extension. I consider our appointments an extension of this council. And, and we don't take that lightly. I mean, you represent not just myself, but my colleagues that are up here as well. And during this process, I think that there was some, I don't know if it was, just poor judgment or what you would call it, but, I am disappointed. I do know that, again, this is not personal, but when we appoint somebody, I expect anyway, transparency, communication, especially when there are significant issues that are being addressed. I mean, that's an expectation that I have. And I would say that to anybody that we appoint. Like I said, I look at you as an extension of us. And in this case, this is a substantial, controversial issue that has happened. And, I'm just going to kind of recap here, but, a failure to let us know what was happening, or a failure to communicate, or out of courtesy, or whatever you want to call it, just to kind of give us a heads up, I think is something that I have a hard time getting past. And I'm just being, honest. Again, it's not personal. I mean, I've known you for a long time, and you're a talented individual, and I don't know what happened here. I mean, I look at the board, and I think there are some talented people on this board, and I don't know, I have no idea what happened. But, you know, I'm gonna make a statement that I've lost confidence, you know, in our appointment to this board. And, you know, I'm gonna make a recommendation that, I mean, we appointed you to the board. I want to make a recommendation tonight to my colleagues and put it to a vote that you be removed from the board based on a vote. We voted you in based on all the totality of the circumstances and what's occurred. I have a lack of confidence in moving forward. And I mean, I've consulted with our attorney to make sure that we are within our guidelines to do so, but I'm going to put it to our council and make a motion at this time that you be removed as our board appointment from the council. So that's my motion.
The only thing I'd like to say about this, I don't think anybody up here wants to do this. This was brought to us. We reappointed you, I believe, in January.
Correct.
We all voted for you in January. I think there were some things that were done that we were misled. So I believe so you could get reappointed again. And again, this is my opinion. I've talked to several of your board members, nobody up here, several other board members, not executive board members. I went to 2 executive sessions, the commissioners and the council's executive session. I did talk to Lorelei, and I did, after one of our executive sessions, reached out and said, "Hey, Lorelei, just want to let you know, you've done a good job. I see her in the mornings weed whacking grass when I walk the dunes every morning, and I just wanted to reach out there and say thank you." I said, "I know there's an NDA or some type of confidentiality agreement," and she's like, "No, Red, not till Monday." Really? So I know I didn't share anything in our executive session. I listened for 4.5 hours. And I understand, I work in an office, I run a business. You're gonna have differences with employees. The difference I see here is she did not want to leave. She did not want to resign. She was forced out. And I'm glad she's actually sitting here. I didn't know she was gonna come. I think it's good that you did. I mean, hold your head high, and but there's a lot of things I've learned over this process, and I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed a lot due to the fact that there was a person that she did not want to resign. She wanted her job. She didn't lie, didn't cheat, didn't steal, right? That's what you said. So I'm thinking to myself, how couldn't this relationship have been repaired, And in those executive sessions, I believe we were misled. I believe we were misled to make a decision to pass the 225 with not all the information. And, talking to some board members, you have 11 board members. I talked to some board members that loved Lorelei and thought she was doing a great job. Great person. I don't doubt that. I think she's a class act. So I don't know exactly what happened or what the situation was, but I know in government, we don't pay somebody $225,000 plus attorney's fees. That much I do know. And that's what I'm disappointed in. It was tough for me. Mike was out. I was president. I did not want to, I referred it to Harold so everybody could understand what was going on when I found out. Harold, thank you. I thought, you did the best to kind of navigate the waters. But, so that's where I'm at on this. Again, this is nothing personal, but I don't like being misled.
I as well would like to say that my vote would have been different. I voted for the 220, okay? And I did it with reservation because of the information I had. I also feel like I've been misled. I don't like that at all. I would not do that to any of you, and I ask you not to do it with me.
I can't tell you what I don't know.
And because of that, I think we should take a vote tonight.
I gotta say something. I think you screwed up, and I think you admit it. I think the process was not good, and the communication was horrible. You said that tonight. I think you guys are on the right path. I thought we had fixed this. I thought we were moving forward with a solution in place. So I also think that if we remove Mitch at this time, that causes a lot of turmoil in a board that's already got new people involved. So I think.
There's 11 people on that board. I'm sure one of them can be board president. I mean, personally, I think the commissioners need to redo this board. I don't know how many people attend these board meetings, if it's a handful a month, if it's all 11, but, I think the commissioners need to.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And I also think it makes sense.
I think it makes sense that a council person
I agree.
sits on this board. I'll tell you, we sit on the solid waste, we sit on the plan commission, we sit on numerous boards. There's no reason why one of us shouldn't sit on this board. They come for us for a budget. And I think for the longest time, it was like, hey, tourism's doing good or whatever, and out of sight, out of mind. But I think what happened here, I think we need to be more involved as a council, quite frankly.
I would agree with you. But I don't know that personally. My opinion isn't the time is now to make that change. Mitch has come in and put together a plan on to fix it with his board, and I feel that they're going to fix it. I mean,
And I think it's too, without Jeremy here too, I mean, if you're going to call for a revote, it should be everyone that voted in favor should have an opportunity. So I think that alone is.
Well, we have a quorum, so we can vote on it.
I understand that, but that's my opinion.
So that's irrelevant.
Okay, I would like to say something. I think everybody has spoken. I need to ask my lawyer. May I talk? Everybody is talking about this $225,000 figure. Can I break that down a little bit as to what that? Can we speak about how we derived that? That was for a two-year contract buyout.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue. I think.
Okay.
Sylvia, and if you get too far into the weeds, I'll.
Okay, thank you. 225,000. First of all, I want to say, I have known Lorelei Weimer for years. I was on the tourism board, I think in 2004 or 5, I don't know. I love her. She's done a great job. Have we had disagreements? Oh, you betcha. But I still like her. To this day, I like her, and I defend her. However, I want to say we were presented with this problem. I wasn't happy about it. But we were talking about her salary, which was $65,000 a year.
85, I believe. Was it 85?
Was it 85?
Something like.
I'll go for 85.
Something like 80, I believe.
Okay, but anyway, whatever. 85. Did she have a car? Did we supply her?
She returned.
Did have a car.
Car's been returned.
She had a car.
She had a car, so that's quite a bit of money a year. She had a telephone. We paid for, huh?
Perf. 2 years of perf.
Perf, that's 20,000.
I didn't bring all the documents.
Now, also,
And code.
travel. She being with her job, she traveled a lot. So when you add all that up and then multiply it times 2, we're not talking about an exorbitant amount of money that we okayed with what our lawyers were telling us, and Mitch and Rex, I believe, was there. I just want to say, I kind of agree with what Andy is saying. We have gone through this. We have worked our way through this. We have we have a plan. Am I happy with how it turned out? No, I'm not. But we have to go on. And to keep, Mitch, I was disappointed. In fact, I think I probably told you,
Yeah.
you know, and, but to just say, I think now he needs to go after all of his years of expertise in that. He agreed, he screwed up, but haven't we all? And I think that it's time that we move forward with this instead of constantly rehashing something that I thought we had settled. And if you wish to go ahead with this vote, fine. That's all I could say.
Mr. President, do I,
Say something real quick in response to that. You know what, a lot of what everybody here is missing is called transparency to the taxpayers. That was missing. That was missed. It was deliberately missed. It was calculatedly missed. I mean, and the other thing is, quite frankly, you know, I've served on a school board for 16 years, and I always want to get down to the truth. And the truth that I do know is Lorelei did not want to retire. She did not want to resign. She said she would gladly give the money back and come back as Porter County Tourism Board Director. That's not in the papers. You know, what I hear in the papers is some nasty comments, quite frankly. That was in the Times by Jerry Davich. I thought that was
By me?
unbecoming. No, not by you.
thank you.
Absolutely not. But maybe by somebody that shouldn't be making those comments if they were taking that job. I thought it was very unbecoming. It was unbecoming.
Okay.
Of a new director. And like I said, I've listened to a lot of people, board members, Lorelei, different people, and I'm not saying she did everything right because there's two sides to a story, but I know one thing. How this shook out, I know was not right. I know was not right. And like I said, I could look each one of you in the eye and tell you something was wrong here. And I know it was wrong because I know out of everybody up here, I dug in the most. And I even got accused of, oh my God, Red's talking to Lorelei. Yes, I did. You want to know why? Because that's that NDA wasn't signed yet, but you used that. You used that in our executive session to force us to vote for this money because we weren't told all the information.
Nobody was forced.
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes, it was. We were misled.
We're not forced.
We were misled.
That's not being forced.
Okay.
It's not being forced.
Okay.
Directed them.
Directed or misled. We were misled.
Everyone has their own opinions. Everyone has their own
We only
thoughts.
have our opinions
Nobody's forced.
when we are given all the information. And I will tell you, when you have a lawyers in the room that you think are going to give you all the information and they don't, I find that, quite frankly, disgusting. Okay? I do.
Now we should fire the lawyers?
Can I address this? Or,
Yeah, go ahead, Mitch.
John, did you want to say something?
What I wanted to say is the executive board went through a lot of trials and tribulations through this issue. It was brought to our full board at least 2 times of going through things. There was a unanimous vote on the monies that were offered.
Not on getting rid of her, right? The monies, correct? The monies? Because I still have board members that don't know why Lorelei's fired. How is that? If you have 11 board members, how do not all of you guys know what she's being let go for? Not all of them know. I talked to them. I dug in, man. You know, like I said, I'm going to get to the truth some way or somehow. I mean, so yeah, money-wise, fine, but
They approved, and as I said, there was a great debate over trying to make sure that Lorelei was given dignity and respect. This board wanted to make sure that Lorelei, her 33 years of service, where I've known Lorelei for most of that 33 years of her career, okay? So as an executive group, as Mitch is our leader, we were trying to work through that and do that. We did not communicate with you, and yes, we were wrong in that matter. We were absolutely wrong, sir. And, but before you take your vote, I have to support Mitch in what he was trying to do and what we've tried to accomplish here.
But nothing.
As a board member.
Can I,
To where you couldn't have kept her for 2 more years. She didn't steal.
you don't know. You don't know.
I don't know.
No.
I think I just want to kind of,
Well, if I don't.
Can I address this? I mean,
Discussion?
I just want to kind of try and reel this in and
well,
little
look,
bit.
but
I'd
I'd like to say something.
I'll let you.
She's going through a lot
I
of
think
too
we're,
much back there.
I
Years
understand.
old with a job.
Mitch, go
I
ahead.
think that's pretty dang
Mitch, go ahead and then,
tough.
I didn't come here to address the Lorelei issue. I came to apologize and set forth where we were going. I was told this was all behind us. I didn't know I was going to be called in here and called a liar. You've called me a liar.
that's why I'm going to
And-
recap the issue.
And here's the issue. I came to the executive sessions, both of them, with different people. We had 1 hour. I presented a snapshot, and I'm not going to go through that because there is a non-disclosure agreement. I didn't come here
Now.
to, it doesn't matter, Rod. There always was. We were in the middle of negotiations at the time you jumped in.
And that's how you used it on us.
Okay. So all I'm saying is I did the best I could. And I tried to resolve this issue in the best fashion possible. Your attorneys agreed with, both the county attorney and the council attorney agreed. There may have been minor differences, but this settlement was in the best interest of the county, and I believe that today. And I could make excuses. I'm not going to. I did the best job I could, and I will not be called a liar because I worked from August until today on this issue. And through sickness, through everything. Here I am going to surgery in the morning, and here I am. The day I moved, I was in an executive session. I mean, we have been through this whole board. We all loved Lorelei.
Yes.
We all did. You have no clue what we've been through or how difficult this process has been. And to see it end like this is a tragedy. It's a tragedy to bring us up here. And, you know, I don't even want to address the other issues. There are other issues that have nothing to do with Lorelei and I.
Let me reel this in and just
Yeah,
conclude with.
well,
Let me just tell you, I'm not calling you a liar.
Well, 2 of your board members did.
And I'm bringing this.
Yes,
let me-
you did.
Let me just say, let me just finish here. This has nothing to do with your process. It has nothing to do with what's said at the executive board or efforts. What this has to do with our appointment.
And I worked hard.
I was never contacted as a president of council, Mitch.
No.
Vice president was never.
And you know what? You want to know the truth? The minute I brought it down here, nobody called me and said, hey, what in the hell is this? You know what they did? The next call I got was from the newspaper.
Our board.
And we're trying to negotiate a settlement. And you wonder why we don't bring it down here when we're in 8 months of process, 4 months of negotiation, and the minute it comes down here, it's on the front page of the paper. Why wouldn't we bring that down here?
Because it's your responsibility to be transparent with
And I've put in place how I'm going to do
us. Yes.
But it needs to be confidential. The day after the commissioner's executive session, that night, I get a call from a newspaper reporter who has all of the details.
County taxpayers, $225,000. You're doing it now. What I'm talking about is there's a lot of experience. You are a smart man.
That's right. And
And
this
this-
saved the taxpayers money.
What this should have been was a phone call out of courtesy
I agree.
to say, this is what is
The
going
minute I
on.
call, the newspapers call.
happening, and it's going to come up for approval. Instead of it being on an agenda, nobody knew what was going on.
Nobody called me.
That's
I
your
should have
responsibility.
called. You're absolutely right, and I've acknowledged that, and I've fixed it.
That's why I'm calling for.
But for you to sit here and say, come down here, and we'll get in the middle of your negotiations with the Post and the Times is not productive to settlement.
You are off topic. This has no.
I'm off topic.
Yeah.
I came here to apologize and you're removing me. That's a little off topic.
What I am saying is that, I have a lack of confidence in.
I hear you, so call your vote. Let's.
That was my motion. It has nothing to do with the
I
executive session.
absolutely understand. It has nothing to do with me or Lorelei. It has to do with future plans and how you want to restructure the board. That and disenfranchise the communities.
That's fine, but you hit it right on the head with what you said. You wanted to go a different direction. In county government, buyouts don't occur. If she did something wrong to get fired, she should have been fired. We don't do county buyouts with taxpayer dollars.
Okay.
We don't do that.
Okay, that's fine, Red. We've talked about all the logistics of
Anyway, there's a motion.
legal.
Second.
And a second.
I have a question.
Sir,
You just said you didn't bring it to us because we would have went to the papers.
no, that's not why. I'm saying what happened after it
Okay.
did come down.
And I want to make sure.
I do not believe that, and I believe we can have a confidential relationship in the future with, when
Our appointment. So I want to make sure if you maintain this position,
I'm going to.
you're not afraid of the papers. Or you're not. I mean, it's up to us.
Do I call you back? Do I call back?
That's not what I mean. I meant you're not going to hold information based on that it could leak to the.
No.
Part of life.
No.
I just.
And that wasn't the intent here. Quite frankly, it was overlooked. I never thought about it. We were laser focused on what we were trying to accomplish in regard to settling the situation. That's it. When I sent that appropriation down, I didn't expect any of this. I thought, oh, finally it's done. We can get the I mean, every turn, well, just like I came here tonight expecting to apologize and move forward. I didn't know we were going to have a full-blown another, let's go through it all. My executive committee supports.
One in public, let's face it.
No, and
Meeting we got here.
and you told me this was behind us, and then now you come here and said I'm a liar.
It was behind us. You know when it wasn't behind me? When I saw the article from Jerry Davich, and you know what, Mitch? If you're the leader, maybe you should tell people, hey, you know what? Zip your lip. If you want to be the next director, don't disparage an NDA. Don't disparage the outgoing person. If you love her so much, why are you going to talk bad about her in the paper? You don't do that to people. You don't do that to people, Mitch.
I didn't disparage Lorelei in the paper.
It doesn't matter. It is what it is. It's printed.
Don't do that.
Papers. I'm not even going to comment. I just do what you got to do.
We have
I have served this county selflessly for years, will continue to serve in the communities, and I stand by my decisions. I made a mistake. I made a bad choice in not coming down here earlier, not even realizing the significance or that this would be the outcome. And I have the full support of my executive decision. We made every decision that we had to make, and I respect you guys, and I appreciate you.
Do all the board members believe that? That's right.
I don't know.
I talked to two of them. They says dysfunctional.
It's dysfunctional. That's 2 out of 11. So, okay.
Two.
And I could tell you which 2.
Okay, I'm sure it could be.
Please. I understand what you're saying. You talked to board members Tuesday, it's dysfunctional, but yet they voted for it unanimously.
Money amount.
They never questioned. They never said, I'm not voting for this. They voted for it. So they believed in it too. Or they could have voted no, just like anybody.
And the council.
I'm just going by what they're saying. They said they were not.
I voted no for that one.
They said it was
I voted no for that one.
They said it was the executive board had the information and they were not sharing it correctly with all 11. Now, is that true or false? I don't know. I mean, I'm just telling you what they're telling me.
What
Right.
they tell you, Red, what they voted for, their vote should speak how they felt. And
Like
they
the
didn't.
money. The money-wise.
No, same with.
There was a
regular vote
long,
too.
a very long meeting
Executive session.
that was discussed as much as possible could be discussed at that point in time because of the negotiations that we were in, because of the situation we were in. The executive board did but brought
So you
much.
have an executive board that doesn't give all the information to the whole board. By the way, 4 of the board members were 4 commissioner appointees. So out of everybody who should be mad, there's 4 commissioner appointees who aren't on the executive.
Let's just, I don't want to go through this process. Just vote.
The executive board gave all the information during an executive session of all board members. So all board members were on board with the decision to terminate, to,
Oh, resign.
resign.
Not terminate.
All board members were on board for the payout, the money. It was agreed on by all board members.
Twice.
Yes,
Even the
Okay.
2 that are talking to you.
Exactly.
It still was voted and approved by them. They didn't say no.
In fact, they're the ones that ran the number up, truth be told.
that's
They're the ones that took us above the number that most of us were at.
Because I was told that Laura and I never got to talk to the full board.
Lorelei chose to resign rather than go before the board and address the issues.
I was also.
She had that option.
Okay, so now I was also told her lawyer.
I'm not going to go through it all.
I'm just.
It's confidential.
You don't have to, but I'm going to tell you because I don't have an NDA and I don't have a confidentiality agreement. That's why this is nice, Mitch. That's why it's called transparency. Okay, that's why this is called transparency.
You can tell me whatever you want.
Yes, I can.
Red, you talked to 2 board members, not the full board. I didn't get a call from you.
No, I listened to Mitch. I listened to Rich. I was at both meetings. One from the commissioners and one from the council. Excuse me?
You listened to the attorneys?
No, I listened to Mitch present his case, and it was misleading.
Okay.
Bottom line.
Fine.
And it was misleading for a reason.
I have to say, our concern really was to protect the parties involved. And maybe we went too far in trying to do that. Otherwise, we were going to have a full-blown hearing, and that was going to be very disruptive and very destructive. Not only of what we try to do as the commission, the tourism board, which has been very successful, and Lorelei's played a huge part in that. You have to know that we were absolutely unanimous in the decision that Lorelei had to go. Okay? So, we had a conversation with Lorelei, right? And it was she decided that the best option for her was to resign. And that's how we pursued it. And the reason that we pursued it that way was we had promised there's going to be no disclosure. We are not going to talk about any issues whatsoever. We had to assure you that there was no skullduggery or any sort of.
Right, I get that.
And it was not. And we told you that right up front. Mitch was clear about that. But everything else we did was to protect all the identities and personalities and to give credit where it was not credit, but to respect the people who was.
And like I said, listen. When I see people, I think I'm not saying she got wrong because I don't know the situation, okay? But I talked to her for 4.5 hours. I talked to a lot of people, okay? Why does she need an NDA? I mean, she goes to her employer. What does she tell them? Oh, I can't talk about it because I have an NDA. That was forced on her. She didn't want to sign an NDA. Who wants an NDA? A non-disparagement agreement, a confidentiality agreement, when they get let go.
It was thought that was something that she did want, and really.
That was all negotiated between the lawyers, so we're not going to go into that. We're not going, I don't know.
But that's what I'm getting at. It's hard.
Okay.
It's hard. I guess what I'm saying, I didn't want her out in the public, someone to think, oh man, what did she do?
I never have said anything like that. I've done nothing but congratulate her for all her years of service, all the way through this. And I continue to do so.
Right.
Well.
And this board, our whole board, through this whole thing, and that maybe that was our mistake. We didn't want this drug through anything. We wanted, again, I'll go back to the dignity and respect that Lorelei deserved in this whole negotiation. Wanted her protected as much as possible. Yes, it's a terrible thing to be without, to step down and resign after you've been there for 33 years. I spent 51 years in my career, okay? It's a hard thing to not be where you've always been, okay? we worked very hard. All I can tell you folks is we worked damn hard to try to make that dignity and respect for her and for this board that we all love and want for this county and have tried our best. We don't get paid for this. We don't get, and what we went through in the last 6 months, trust me, I'm on additional blood pressure medication because of it, okay? I've given a lot to this county over the years, and I'm trying to give you my word. I support Mitch in what we've done here. We weren't trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. We were trying to do the best we could do with a situation that was not a good situation come hell or high water. So,
Well, I at least learned more here out in the public than I did going back and forth, and, you know, I just.
and I'm sorry for that, Red.
No, listen, do you think I like this?
No,
I don't like this. I mean, I was on a board too for 16 years, school board. You know the personnel issues that I've had?
Absolutely. I know those.
Very tough issues, man. Tough. Okay? So, like being up here, you know, spouting off on this, but what I will always do is listen to people,
I understand.
gather the information, and make sure someone's not getting quote unquote screwed. Okay?
agree.
That's my job. Maybe that's my personality.
I agree.
That's me. And I want to make sure it's transparent, that, you know, the taxpayers are paying for what they should pay for. That's my job.
And I totally agree with that. I understand that. I've sat in not in this seat, but I've sat in seats that have had to deal with these type of situations before. I've been on the school board.
I think
had to deal with the superintendent. I've been on the town council for 16 years and had to deal with different situations that we've dealt with, that we're dealing with now.
Mitch, just so you and I are clear, sir, just so you and I are clear,
Yeah.
I never called you a liar. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it to your face, and I'll do it in public. What I did say is I did not have all the information. Had I had the information a little bit more, I would have voted differently. You and I talked, did we not, afterwards?
We've talked several times. I've talked to all of you more in the last month than I've talked to you in 14 years.
And at no time did I call you a liar, sir. What I'm saying is I would have liked to have had more information, because if my vote would have been no that night, we wouldn't have been here.
But
But I didn't have it.
if you go back into the record, you had said under your breath after you made the vote, based on the lawyer's.
Based on the recommendations they gave me.
There you go.
And whether they had all the knowledge or not, I don't know.
So you based it on the lawyers.
I could not ask questions because I believed at that time there was an NDA. So, but I went trying to save the county money is what I decided to do, okay? But I never called you a liar, sir, and I still to this day have not.
And the thing about it, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an educated person, but you know what? I can sniff stuff out, because that's what I do for a living, man.
Okay. Can we vote? Mike, do I?
I made a motion in
Put
a
up
second.
with more-
Lorelei, I know you want to speak. If you want to speak at public comment, you're more than welcome to. I would say, I mean, it's Mike's the president, so he can do what he wants, but
Sure.
Oh, that would be after this, would it not?
public comment, yeah.
After.
After the vote.
thing I wanted to say is, when they approached me, said I needed.
Hold on, you need a microphone to make sure.
I thought it was supposed to be after the vote.
It's up to the president. The president runs these meetings.
I think it's the president's discretion.
It is the president's discretion. Yes, it is.
Go ahead and speak.
So when they met with me to give me the information, they never provided me any information as to why this decision was being made. I asked Don, he gave me a few pieces of information. I debated him on that. They told me that I could either retire or they're going to terminate me, and they had already secured the 6 votes, and that is in violation of the open door policy to have votes ahead of time. Then Hollenbeck said I could, if I wanted to put the retiring away, I could then go to the board the next day, not knowing anything about why they were doing this to me, hear it for the first time, try to defend myself hearing this for the very first time, and then what I was facing was termination, and they had told me they had already had the 6 votes. So what would you do under those circumstances? And I said, well, I certainly can't take that risk. And Hollenbeck said, I think that's a good decision. There's a lot more to this whole thing than people realize. And that's all I wanted to say, because I have been drugged
through the dirt as has Sandy. And nobody has any idea what this man has done to me since August.
You're talking about me?
I'm talking about you.
I'm just going to recap the motion, and I appreciate what everybody's saying. And, my initial issue wasn't so much the process or so much Lorelei's job as it was our appointee, Mitch, who had known you for a long time, just the failure to communicate with the board that appointed you.
I get it.
Yeah, and so that's, again, this is not personal, but I look at, we're accountable to the taxpayers. We're accountable to.
I serve at the pleasure of
Yeah,
the board.
and that's what the focus is. I think we've gone a little bit astray. And this has no reflection on the board or what you did, what you decided, how you did it, your dedication. I don't question any of that. I guess what I'm presenting to the council is that I would expect this from any person that we appoint to any board to be accountable to us and to provide information that when this is a big deal. I mean, this is a substantial amount of dollars, despite how long this person's been, in that position. But that's really my main concern, and I would expect this from any appointment that we make. And, I believe everything you say, that moving forward, these are some things you'd like to do, but just in my opinion, as president of the council, I do have some reservations. Feel that, again, we have to answer the questions to our constituents as to what happened and why we're approving this substantial amount of a buyout. And so that was my main concern, and what I'm presenting to the council, that whether it's Mitch or anybody else that was sitting there, I would expect this from anybody that we appointed. That, the expectations, they didn't meet the expectations of the appointment in the first place. I mean, like I said, you're an extension of me and everybody else up here.
Go ahead and vote.
This is not personal. This is kind of county business, and we would do I would present this to anybody else. And again, I don't, I take what you're saying with a heavy heart, that this is something, moving forward. But this is something it's hard for me to get past, because again, when dollars started coming up, it's one thing for the position. When dollars started coming up, there should have been something. And that's just I just want to recap a little bit as to why I made the motion. To replace our appointed person to this board, and that's really the only reasons. So again, I've made the motion. We have a second. I don't know if there's any other discussion, but I think we've kind of gone through this quite a bit tonight, and I'll respect what the vote is.
I would like to say something else. I'm hearing you say that it's nothing personal, but if you vote yes, then you're being responsible to the taxpayer. And if you vote no, you're not being responsible to the taxpayer. Personally, from what we were told that night, and from what I am breaking down, $85,000 plus $20,000 in perf, plus a car, plus a phone, plus traveling expenses. I don't think we made that bad of a deal. We had a contract. I did not know. We all are learning from this. I was not aware that you could have a contract with a county employee, and that has now been corrected.
It's been corrected.
That has been corrected. That will not occur again. But when I'm seeing this breakdown, I don't think the council did that bad of a deal on what we did.
I'm not
It
blaming
is
the-
an exorbitant
Silly,
amount
I'm
of
not blaming
money.
the council for anything. What I'm
But you're
saying is
asking
I-
us to take a
no, I
vote.
ne- Well, I never, there's never any communication about this even going on. That's what I'm
Oh, I
saying.
agree.
would
I didn't
expect
know
that
about it either.
Any board member that we appoint should communicate. That's my point. I'm not saying the council's making a bad decision. I'm blaming the board for what they did. You know, what my point is that our board member appointees are accountable to us. And in this case, there was no accountability, no communication, and I don't like to be blindsided.
You're
I
right,
felt that
and
this-
I
we
don't
were
either,
blindsided.
and I felt that way.
So, but. you
But
know,
he apologized. I thought we moved on too. But let's go on with our vote.
Roll call, please.
Brickner.
What are we voting? Yes for removal?
Yes, yes for removal, no for not.
So, yes, yes.
Yes.
Graham,
No.
Sims,
No.
Bozak.
No.
Vasquez.
With a reservation, yes.
It's tied.
We need our other
It
members.
stays.
I just want to state, I voted no for the settlement, and I don't think
Motion fails.
settlement.
Motion. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, board members.
Conclude our business.
For that.
Includes our business.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. Good luck tomorrow.
Good luck tomorrow, Mitch.
Thank you. I
Yep.
appreciate that. Thank you, Don.
Now we're at the public comment.
Well, I've got a,
Caps.
I'd like to invite you for another piece
Have a good night. Good luck with your surgery, sir.
for people in Indiana. We're having a Celebrate Trails Day. I think you should have gotten your
Yeah.
notifications from the office. Celebrate Trails Day, Saturday, the 27th, starting at 10:30. And it's to honor our fallen on our Veterans Memorial Trail. You're all invited. If you're available, please attend.
I'm all shook
Hey,
up.
thanks for what you
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don.
That is ringtone?
appreciate.
I got distracted
Thanks.
after I heard that.
Hebron, that's in South
Have a
Carolina.
good night, sir. Don, have a good night, sir.
Don had you rocking.
I know, right?
We have come to the,
Mr. President, can I say something in the good order?
what's that?
Good of the order?
I think we're at, where am I?
Oh, I thought you were there. I'm sorry.
Public comment session?
well, do we have a chance to say something before public comment? Because I've got something I want to.
Yeah, if you, sure.
We got that email we got a while back about the ambulance situation, Northwest Health. About, I know you all got it. We all got it. Did you guys not read it?
Yes. No, I did.
Are we doing anything? I know Jeremy had made a comment about, well, I don't know. I don't know.
It's a contract to do with the hospital. All the ambulance drivers around the community
Right.
seem to have signed this form saying a vote of no confidence in the director at a private hospital.
Right, but since if that goes south, we have, if a whole bunch of people quit, we've got a situation on our hands, and I just didn't know if any of us knew anything about it to where, I haven't talked to anybody, but I wanted to bring it up and see, is this something that, do we talk to somebody about it? I don't know how it all works.
Commissioner's hand.
I think it's a commissioner.
It's a, yeah, if it's,
Are the commissioners communicating with us?
no, not that I know of, and I haven't gotten a call from them. How about you?
I've had.
No.
Okay, let me just share with the group.
We had an ambulance.
Just recently had communication with Commissioner Biggs, who was in communication with
The group?
group.
Okay.
and Whatever follow-up or additional information as, as it gets shared, I'll share with you as well if it doesn't get back to you. Yeah, sure.
Councilman Sims, all you gotta do is pick up the phone and call me, okay? I have to be board president this year. You're a full-fledged kind of.
I just mentioned it here in public, see what the colleagues, I had,
Drag me into the politics.
oh, I didn't drag you in anything. I didn't even mention your name. I didn't mention your name.
Commissioners met with the hospital
These kids.
twice.
Okay,
We met with two paramedics that had signed the statement.
okay. Well, can you tell us what's going on? Can you?
Look, Greg, if it bothers you, you need to realize that your job, just like mine, we have guardrails, okay? If you were that interested in knowing what was going on, you could have picked up the phone and called me, called Laura Blaney, or called Commissioner Rickens.
Mhm.
Yet you want to bring it out here and ask, did anybody talk to
Well, then maybe our president communicated with you and we get our communication to our president.
You know, I know what you're doing.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Make a mistake and drag.
I'm not your name was never mentioned. Your name was never mentioned. So well, and I can say the same thing for you in that regard. Okay, sure, okay. Thank you for your comments. They're appreciated.
Again, if you want to know something,
I can speak to the president of our council.
you can pick up the phone and call any one of the board of commissioners.
I can also go through our
Yeah, you can do these.
Thank you very much for your comments. Deeply appreciated.
I know.
Welcome back, Mike.
I got something.
Yes.
Okay.
Say something?
Yeah, I do want to say something. Do you guys realize that our meetings are not, we've live broadcasted a half a meeting. That's all we've ever done. I know this is not the pressing issue of the evening, but it's something I want to bring up because I feel that it's, we have the ability to live stream. Why are we not doing what we've said we were going to do? We discussed it, I think, at the beginning of the year or last year. No, and it's consistent. We've always got a reason we're not doing it. But I know we can, so what do we do as a council to make sure that happens?
I think we need to take care of that.
We need to be, I came in today, just so you guys know, the parking garage door was locked as well. I did notify Officer Joe. This is a public meeting with public parking garage. People need to be able to walk in here. So we've got these kind of issues going on. I know they sound small, but to me, transparency. And I think we should, it's not a failure on Joy's part, but maybe IT needs to get a person up here for our meetings and set it up and do it. I don't know. But I just thought I'd bring it up because it's a concern.
Follow up with.
You what? You got it?
Follow up with Lee.
Oh, you want me to?
No, I will.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'll find out.
I will if you want, but yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right, moving right along to public comment. Anybody have any public comment they'd like to? Oh, okay. Please state your name, please.
Yeah, my name is this on?
That off?
No.
No.
Okay, there we go.
You can hear it.
I do too.
Hope I don't follow. Anyway, my name's Penny Kuzmick and I'm from Valparaiso, and with this whole thing with the tourism board, one of the things that I think I've observed in the last 3 years, coming to almost every meeting, is that it seems like with appointed people that are serving us, that they somehow have missed, and maybe it's because they don't take an oath like elected officials do, but it seems like they've missed the responsibility to be responsible to the public. And I've observed it before, and it just seems to be solidifying here with this situation tonight, where they somehow think, well, I'm appointed to this and I can just kind of wing it and do my thing. The other thing that I've observed several times, to my dismay, in the last 3 years is the propensity, when there's a touchy topic, the either elected officials or appointed officials want to keep it quiet. They don't want to have the public know. The public isn't informed, and for months, these discussions can go on without any transparency, and that's not okay. That's not okay. And it's not a party issue, it's not a politics issue, it's an ethics issue. And with the topic brought up tonight, with a no confidence vote that was, brought up, I think that was very timely, because it isn't about the ability to do the job, it's about an integrity issue. Are you going to be responsible to the public? Okay? It's not about the capacity to do the job, but the capacity to be transparent. And so, as this is a public comment, I'm making the public comment that we still are, a lot of people aren't inspecting what they're expecting, But I will tell you that the public is expecting transparency, the public is expecting honesty, and the public is expecting to be heard. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else like to public comment? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment at this time. Going once, twice? Okay.
Harold, what do you got?
Attorney's report. Harold.
Nothing new to report other than
He wants to-
we've been through enough. But it's all good.
I will tell you, you earned your money.
It's all good.
Give me my candy by the age ago.
It's all good.
I don't see anything on here. Okay, thanks, Harold, for that riveting
That's right.
report.
Meeting adjourned.
I don't see anything on here for anything to the order. Is it part of our agenda, or is it missing? Do we have a good of the order? Am I at the?
No, we're done.
We're done?
We're good. We can
Done?
adjourn.
Okay. We make a motion.
To adjourn, my friend.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, adjourn. Good night.
Welcome back.